What's good? It's your boy Jay, that's me. We're going to get into TNA Victory Road from September the 26th, 2025. A pretty okay show for the most part. This was the final show before Bound for Glory, which is in 2.5 weeks from now. And this show set up future matches for Bound for Glory, and I do like that. This show, for me, was a middle-of-the-road show. There were a lot of matches on this show that I could have done without, and there were 3 matches in particular that stood out to me. We'll talk about those when we get to it. So let's go ahead and get into the pre-show. I did not watch the triple threat match involving Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, and Cedric Alexander, so I don't know who won that. I apologize, but I just did not watch that. I missed that. So, who won that match, though, was Zachary Wentz. He won via hitting a cutter on Cedric Alexander. So that's fine there. Nothing gained, nothing lost. It was just a match to pop the crowd. Moving on to the rest of the pre-show. So Steve Maclin, he showed up. He had a backstage interview with Jim Miller. He said that he will fight for all the Marines that have had to deal with the disrespect like Frankie Kazarian has given him when he's done. When he was done cutting his promo, El Masters of AAA, he showed up out of nowhere and he stared down Steve Maclin. So that's cool there. Then we get the AJ Francis first class penthouse segment. So AJ, he wore a Houston Texans jacket. He made fun of the Edmonton crowd because they didn't have any professional sports franchises. He basically took off his shirt and revealed, the rival team that they're facing. Didn't really matter. So the Hardy, Matt Hardy came out and everything. He had some words for AJ Francis. Didn't really say much of anything. He just promoted the Hardys versus Team 3D at Bound for Glory in their table match. Then this leads into a brawl, and then AJ Francis got the upper hand by chokeslamming Matt Hardy through a table. So whatever, who cares? All right, this leads us into the first match of the night, onto the main card. It was a 6-man tag. They defeated the Order 4, which was Jason Hodge, John Schuyler, and Agent Zero. So the system wins that one. I don't give a damn about this. This was a boring way to start the show off, so whatever. Moving on from that, because I didn't care about that. Ash by Elegance, she showed up. So Santino Marella and Carlos Silva, TNA president, was there. So Ash announced that she's no longer able to compete and is giving up the TNA Knockouts championship. Ash thanked the crowd for their support and expressed confidence in the women in the Knockouts locker room to elevate the TNA Knockouts world title. She would have to vacate it. Relinquish it. Same thing. So Ash gets a standing ovation from the crowd. And then Santino, he moved the tag match that's going to take place on this show to this upcoming Thursday for TNA Impact. So there's that. And then he ended up making a battle royal, which the final 2 were Xia Li, aka Li Ying Li, and Kelani Jordan from NXT, which is great. That's cool there. Moving on from that. This led us into the Nemeth being defeated by Matt Cardona and Diener, aka the hometown man. Who cares? Who cares about this shit? This is a waste of time. Diener was unmasked anyway, post-match. Tried to cover up his face and everything else. We all knew who it was. Matthew Ray Wall on commentary, revealed it. And we've known who the hometown man was for like 2 or 3 months, and no one gives a shit about this. Move on from Diener. Send him back into Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling along with Eric Young and all these other guys I don't like on this show. Moving on. So this leads us into Joe Hendry. He was beaten down and attacked by Eric Young. So there is that. Moving on. So this leads us into the match between Mike Santana and Ridge Holland, which didn't last long. Mike Santana wins via the spin the block. He wins that way. So post-match, Trick Williams showed up, got a really good reaction. He attacked Mike Santana. He hit him with the belt. So that's cool. So they're still building this NXT partnership. I do like that. They're still adding more heat to the Mike Santana, Trick Williams feud that they got going on, which is really good. Maybe Mike Santana will show up on Tuesday to retaliate, maybe. We've got 2 weeks left to build that match. It's fine, though. Moving on, this leads us into Matt Hardy defeating AJ Francis. But before that happened, Matt Hardy, he bullied the doctor into clearing him for a match with AJ Francis. I don't care about this at all. Moving on. Mustafa Ali defeated Moose. So he wins the advantage. This match was pretty fun. The crowd was really into it. Towards the end of the match, Ali's dancers, they showed up. And one of them ended up being Tasha Steelz, who low-blowed Moose. And then this allowed for Ali to hit the 450 splash for the 1, 2, 3. Really good stuff here. So this is fine. But again, I'm not a fan of the system, but I am a fan of Order 4. Moving on, Joe Hendry defeats Eric Young. He wins via the standing ovation. I don't give a shit about Eric Young at all. So it is what it is. Who cares? Because Eric Young tried to bring in a steel chair, and then the Northern Armory, they showed up and they took it from him, and Joe Hendry ended up getting the standing ovation on the steel chair. So whatever, who gives a damn about this? Moving on, Matt Hardy defeated AJ Francis in a tables match. Whatever, I don't give a shit about this at all either. Who cares? Then this leads us into Kelani Jordan defeating Xia Li. She's now the new TNA Knockouts champion. And Indy Hartwell, for whatever reason, was a special guest referee. This match was fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of striking in here. Kelani took control for most of the match. Xia made Kelani, work for the win and everything. There was a ref bump, apparently, at the end of the match. So I think Kelani was going to go for one of the kind, but then she knocked out Indy Hartwell. Xia Li ended up hitting the Thunderstruck. Indy came to, and she countered a 2 count, and then this allowed for Kelani to hit the X Factor, and she followed it up by the the one-of-a-kind split-legged moonsault for the 1, 2, 3, and your new TNA Knockouts champion, Kelani Jordan. So really good stuff there. I do like this. This makes perfect sense. I think Kelani Jordan needs to retain the title at Bound for Glory and move on from Indy Hartwell. There is no need for Kelani to do the job to Indy. Indy's not over. Indy's not ready. And Indy should really just be on the Indies, if we're being honest. He just doesn't have what it takes to be in TNA. It's, no. Move on from Indy Hartwell. It's time. But like I said, this match was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Minus the ref bump bullshit. So, there's that. My bad. She actually ended up hitting a stunner, followed by the split-legged moonsault for the 1, 2, 3. So there's that. Post-match, Carlos Silva showed up again. He handed her the title, and then after Elegance came out, she embraced her former mentee in Kelani Jordan. She embraced her and hugged her, and that was it. So good stuff there. I do like this. Then this leads us into Frankie Kazarian defeating Steve Maclin to become the new international champion. El Masca showed up towards the end of the match. Frankie hit a mini low blow followed up by a cutter for the 1-2-3. Who cares about this shit at all? Main event of the evening, Leon Slater defeated Myron Reed to retain the TNA X Division Championship. This was a very fun match. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Leon Slater showed a lot of fire and aggression in this match. He ended up hitting the Utopia in this match. He did a couple of high spots in the match as well. Myron Reed showed out as well. He ended up doing the cutter on the outside, the flame on cutter on the outside, which was great. Got a really good reaction. They did a beautiful, beautiful standing Stun Dog Millionaire. That was fucking awesome. The crowd popped hard for that. A really good holy shit chant right there. The finish came when he hit the 450 splash. So, no, my bad. He ended up hitting a twisting suplex, and then he followed it up with the 450 swanton splash for the 1-2-3. Really good match. Carlos Silva came out again. He handed the title to Leon Slater. Both guys shook hands. This was great because this really gets both guys over. Myron Reed is probably like in his mid-20s. I think he's like 25, 26. And Leon is not even 21 yet. He will turn 21 sometime this weekend. So that's cool there. And then Santino Marella came out. He congratulated Leon. And he said that he's been negotiating with Abel from NXT. And his Bound for Glory opponent is going to be Jevon Evans. And then he cuts a pre-recorded promo, which was great because he was on SmackDown, that being Jevon Evans. And this is really, really good stuff here. So I do like this. This makes perfect sense. Jevon Evans versus Leon Slater, sign me up. I talked about for months and months on my channel that Leon Slater and Jevon Evans will make a great tag team. But these two young guys are going to make beautiful magic together. These brothers are going to go in and tear the house down, and I do like it. This is great. So apparently it seems like we're going to get a little mini Worlds Collide with Bound for Glory, which makes sense. I think you should have maybe a total of like 8 matches, where 4 matches are NXT and TNA. NXT and TNA, and then you got this 4 TNA matches. I think that's what should happen because, you know, we got it for the NXT Championship with Trick Williams and Mike Santana, Kelani Jordan and Indy Hartwell, Leon Slater, and Jevon Evans. So there's that. That's really cool stuff there. This show, like I said before, was an okay show. The main event was great. I love that. Good stuff there. Jevon Evans showing up. Pre-tape was good. Xia Li and Kelani Jordan, they gave us the second best match of the night. Trick Williams showing up just to attack. Mike Santana is cool, so that was cool there. Everything else from the show, I just didn't give a shit about. I just didn't. You know, Joe Hendry winning against Eric Young, that's fine. But again, Eric Young shouldn't be in this position. I don't care about Frankie Kazarian winning the X Division, the International Championship. Who gives a shit about that? I think TNA's biggest problem is it's time for them to move on from guys that no longer serve the company. Move on from Eric Young. Move on from Frankie Kazarian. Move on from Moose, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, JDC. Move on from those guys. It's time for TNA to bring in a new crop of guys. This main event was great. It shows you that TNA is actually pushing young talent. And I really am excited for Jevon Evans and Leon Slater. I think that's going to actually kick major ass at Bound for Glory. I'm hoping that they end up doing like a triple threat main event where we get 3 big matches. That's what should happen. I really do think that Kelani Jordan should be the one retaining over Indy Hartwell come Bound for Glory. Indy just does not have it in her to represent TNA, and I would rather that be the Knockouts Championship be in the hands of either like a Killer Kelly or a Leon Lee or someone like that, maybe even a Mara Sade. But Indy Hartwell, hell no. But all in all, the show was okay for the most part. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.